My respectful pranams to all the revered Swamijis and also the revered sisters and all assembled, my devotees and my friends. I'm really very happy to be here to discuss, to analyze, to think about Holy Mother, who is actually our womb. We are not able to, actually I have to submit that I am not able to go deeply or scholarly into defining Holy Mother's coming down, the purpose of her coming down, or her principles, or whatever it may be. It is very difficult for me to do. And even I won't go very into a general discussion about the Holy Mother. I will be moving about to and fro from the spiritual aspects and from the material aspects of the necessity of Mother's presence in our life. That only I will discuss, so that hope you won't be disappointed by my few words. So I am given the topic. I will just say the ideal of womanhood, Sri Sarada Devi. Ideal of womanhood, Sri Sarada Devi. So, we know the social life is based on mutuality. As a distinct individual, men and women both are equal according to our spiritual thoughts or whatever it may be. But as an organized parts of the immense living structure of the society, our roles are vastly different. There is an essential and indispensable mutuality and complementarity which need to be recognized, sustained and strengthened. Not that one is superior to the other, but each role is to be fulfilled properly and perfectly. Moreover, again I would like to say that though the women are nearly half the population of the world, they never had for themselves independent ideal with the same degree of universality and moral imperativeness as that possessed by the male ideal. And I was in New Delhi when one lady who was very famous over there because she has founded a self-employed women's association, not only in Delhi, Rajasthan, Gujarat and all, it has been spread up. When she was there she visited our, because of Atma Pranaji's influence, she used to occasionally come and to meet us also. She was asked by somebody there, what about, then it was years back, she was, then the reservation of the women's bill in the parliament was taking place. So she was asked, it seems, and in front of us, do you think that most like women's reservation bill would make any difference to a lot of women in India? Any difference would it make when you make some reservation of the bill for the women in the parliament? See, what was her answer is, it was quite, keeping in the merit spirit of the time. She said, women must acquire the power, not by the reservation of the bill or anyway. But now there is no alternative. Only thing is this bill has kept the debate alive about the women's right. That is all. But women have any time spelled their plan and for the future that they will be women politicians in any way be different. They have worked anything. They have their own ideal, separate from the others. Whether they have got any vision as a woman, that is what she asked for the questioner and answer is, of course, we don't have a separately because we never had any idea of separate ideal for the men or the women. If you consider the spiritual field now, spiritual field of activity, then also all the founders of the religions and the reform of the society, here all were men. Buddha was a monk, And you all know that he was very hesitant to take the women into his monastery. And Christ, he was unmarried, but his teachings presupposed the subordinate position of the women, because it was in vogue during his time in the Jewish period. And Muhammad, important religions I am telling, Muhammad, he was married of course, but he made the male dominance as the foundation of the Islam society. So, even though they never ignored or shunned or disrespected the women, but they never felt there is any need to raise a female counterpart, female ideal, as to the same degree of, or the same status of an independent ideal. Then we come to the what may be the ideal. Ideal is actually an abstract idea, or a model human being or the divine being who has imbibed the many finer qualities or the higher values of the culture, and it implies also the perfection is the goal of life. Okay. Whatever the qualities our attainment is to be perfect in those qualities. Many of us don't have what is actually the meaning of the perfection. We don't have any idea. Perfection, we explain, tell something it is not perfect, but what exactly the idea of the perfection? We need a role model then. So that role model must imbibe or reflect all these higher ideals in our life. That is why the ideal in Sanskrit is called Adarsha. Adarsha is a mirror. Our life must reflect whatever the higher ideals we have been inculcating in our life. It must reflect in our relationship, behavior, or attitude, anything of that sort. That is why it is called Adarsha, and in many of the languages, this ideal is called as the Adarsha. It has been known. And again, I am going back to in the history of the world. If you consider the history of the world, India, Indo-Aryan culture only given as the world highest ideal of womanhood. The nature of the culture is determined by the values. Any culture it is determined by the value system. The Indian value system is based on three. That is also you know, but still I repeat, three fundamental principles. One is the potential divinity of each soul. Second is the law of the karma. Third one is the self-realization or the God realization as the goal of life. Acquisition of wealth or a power or a continuation of the progeny. All these are considered as the secondary, or it is a concession for the weaker minds. This has been the idea in our culture. Now, realization of Atman, I need not explain to you. Realization of the goal is the realization of Atman. It is common, it is same in one and all that. And how we reflect those things, that is the Atman, the potentiality of the Atman, potentially of the divinity, that is not known how we do it, but what we are. How we reflect that noble ideas into our life, that itself gives how we are spiritually, proceeding in our life. And the idea of the karma, law of the karma also, you know, that only, it depends upon our karma only, samskara only, the makes we have to live, to take birth, whether a man or a woman or any of such things, our samskara only makes the final decision of that thing. And therefore, the karma only decides in whatever position we are, any way of life, we must take it as a blessing and consider it in order to proceed into a spiritual life, that every way of life must be taken as a blessing, as it must be considered as a service or the devotion to the God. Then only that higher values will be inculcated into our mind, and we can proceed in the spiritual life and finally reach the final ideal. This ideal is so far for all of us is one and the same, And if you go to the Vedic region also, there we have seen many of the women have reached the spiritual ideal to the same into the same league as the enlightened and visionary men. Many in Vedas, it seems, not less than 27 names are found in the Rig Veda itself. Those who are called Brahmavadinis, those who have sacrificed everything for the realization of the God. This is in Rig Veda. Then if we come to the epic age, that Brahmavadini ideal has took the shape into a devotion to the husband, pativrata woman. Here the principle is the devotion is in such that ideal itself is so self-sufficient, it became so self-sufficient, self-luminous ideal such that the sanctity, intrinsic worth and the power of the woman had expressed in that one. And many of the women sacrificed their whole to impress that ideal into the general conscious of the society. So this, I am telling you in a nutshell what our ideal has been. Even the women and the men, they both are striving hard to reach the goal, that is the self-realization. All the other thing comes as a secondary to us, but the final goal is for both of us is the realization of the goal. So this for the men and the women and the same. But still the tradition is very hard to go. Indian tradition, Indian culture is mostly rooted in tradition. So even though there are many who are striving to get into that higher ideal, there is a tradition which has tied the women to the earth in a role of Shudra, like high soul serviles. So they have barred them to shine as a powerful members of the society. The conservative society has actually is not allowing in many cases. Even now itself, I am sitting in a almost town city there. There itself, women are very much hesitant to come forward to do anything which they find it very useful, helpful to the society there. Even then they are not able to come themselves. They will say somebody must come, bring us to here, then only we can come, otherwise it is not. But we don't allow the men to enter. We allow them enter into our mud, but we don't make them to sit over there for a long time. So the women are hesitant to come over to the city because our ashram is a little bit 6 kilometers away from the town. See, this is the condition of the women even now. We see the modern society where women are forward, women are taking, they are participating into different fields of the world. They are so much forward, so much whatever the interest in all these things, but still they are servile to certain conservative social system. This has to be, that's why for this Swami Vivekananda, our Mukti Prana Mataji used to say, we can never get out of that debtedness to Swamiji. She always said, she used to say, Bengali, she used to, আমাদের ঋণটা কখনো আমরা শোধ করতে পারবে না স্বামী বিবেকানন্দ সবসময় বলতেন উনি, and he is the one who uphold the women's right. She said these conservative societies, these traditions, these castes and other things, hold back the progress of the society. But we cannot eradicate all those things. We have to give the women required position and that care and attention and training and education required to them as we give to the sons of the family. Then they will be able to solve their own problems in their own way. This is the Swamiji's thing. But here also he has given a warning that they can be intellectuals, but not at the cost of the meditation, dignity and ethics. This should not be the case. That the Indian's culture as a ideal of womanhood, this meditation, dignity, culture, and ethics, these are all very important in the case of the women. If we are really deserved and faithful in their own internal Shakti, nobody, they can proceed, they can have, pursue their own ideas in the society or wherever it will be. For this thing, one example I wanted to say, one C.G. Jung, psychologist, you must have heard about him. His student, he was giving a lecture in some books I read that, so I thought it may be appropriate here. So he was giving a lecture on heroes, male and female. When he was giving the such, and he was the hero, archetype heroes, he was the, mentioning all those things. And when he was giving the heroes' qualities and all those, he was relating those things with some mythological stories and all. When he came to the female heroes, he said he came to the thing, he said in a proper Jungian way, he said, we don't want the, what he said, hero, he wants something, hero, he is the man imitating, man with a hero, females we don't want. We want the female heroes who has got, who are, inculcated into it, the very, what is it? Very sensitive, subtle quality like that, affairs of the heart, sensitivity to others, love for God, love and affection, selflessness. These are all the very, very simple, delicate qualities which are mainly are called what we call women. And then he started the story with the story of Savitri. See, they know, that is why I am telling you, Indian culture is so subtle we cannot understand how it is actually properly developed it is. Now, to make it clear it is for us, because we are in a confusion way in the modern society, womanhood, confusion society, to give a woman really needed ideal for them. The Holy Mother has come. Her inexplicable dignity and unbounded that faith in our own inner qualities is really a help for and a model for us to follow. Even if we are not able to follow her with the same ideas, we can take it as a platform to start our challenges of the whole world. See, from the beginning itself, that sensitivity, just in the morning, we said that when he was very young, that sensitivity, how much he showed, the hungry people. When they came, they are very hungry, I have to have some food. She was immediately ready to help them, to make them easily to be at ease. She was very young. And when she was old enough, when he heard that story, many of the stories that her husband has gone mad, she found her duty near the husband. So instead of getting frustrated or depressed or any such thing, she immediately walked all the way to the Dakshineshwar over there. She never condemned the tradition at all, but she was modern enough. This is to see how our modern womanhood is changing and adjusting itself. Mother was adjusting to every situation over there. She came out, Dakshineshwar stayed there. See how she is adjustable, I am telling. Sri Ramakrishna immediately asked her, why did you have come here? Do you want to drag down to the worldly relations or so? Then what was the answer? She was, as we know, she is a Palli girl. She is coming from a village. I am experienced those things, how the village girls are, even though they are getting good education, their mind is still immature in some respect. So what might have been her answer. But she said, I don't want anything. I came to help you in your spiritual sadhana or the spiritual path. See how matured her answer was, even though she was very young, 18 years old. But she said, I have come to help you in your... She knows how they have to be complementary, indispensable, not only indispensable, but complementary to each other. That she knew from the young age itself. That is what the ideal of the womanhood. She never tried to go out of the tradition at all. That is we find it is a monument example in her life in the... That again, morning you have heard about, I am not going into detail. She was living for so many years in the Nahabat. She was 5'6", 5.6 feet, tall. I am 5'3", even then I am taller from most of our sisters. She was staying in the Nahabat. Nahabat was 7 feet or so height, but the door was only 4'2", height, 2'2" width. How many times she has hit her head at the door. She was not grumbling, not getting distressed. Again here one thing I must remember. Swami, who is that? The Divine Life, Chetananand. Chetanand, I heard Chetanand say, he said, when I start reading Mother's life, I shed tears like anything. Tears come like anything. He started. Oh, I realized it. Then afterwards he said, when he heard that and he was coming to the point that the mother is staying in such a small room, and she was very happy over there and all this thing. And still she was not condemning her her husband Sri Ramakrishna or something like that. Had it been the modern women, had it been the modern, they must have dragged him from Samadhi, brought him from Samadhi and dragged him to the court of divorce. That's what he was imagining. I just imagine nowadays, had it been like this, our women, it may be the city or he is staying in outside India. No? That may be the reason, but I don't think here the women are so much capable of doing. They are still immersed in our own tradition and our own custom. Still he was telling like that. The mother was never condemned, never felt uneasy over there. She was very happy and joyful. The very sentence, the picture of joy was inside her with this thing. So happy and so, and then another incident is preparing the betel rolls. So many hundreds of betel rolls preparing. Many of them very nicely she prepared. That is for the devotees whom we have to make our own. People see there she is living with such a difficulty. Along with it, all the people are her own motherly feeling. These are all women's intensive inner qualities, God-given qualities. We have forgotten. We have to express it. That one, so mother came over here to mother's qualities. One lady was telling that mother came. Mother is a gift to us because she has given a value to our life. She said, one lady who came here, because of her, because she has actually awakened the mother quality in our heart, mother's feeling in our heart, mother's feeling, mother's emotions, which is the capacity which defies the identification of any gender. It is the capacity which makes to open our heart to bring in whole world into our hold. It is the capacity which willingly, happily makes our mind to help others selflessly withinly. That is the mother's heart. That one mother came and showed to one and it. Even after so many criticism, severe criticism, she went on feeding that Amjad. That Lord Amjad and fed him like anything as though he is her own. Amjad tumhare ki kori. This is what it is. See what we say with our some rowdy children. So what is that is only we say, nothing else. See how her feeling came actually from her own being. She embraced the whole world into it. That's the main thing we need. That the motherhood of the God. So Sister Nivedita, she has come to manifest the Sri Ramakrishna's final word as to the ideal of motherhood of God. That actually she showed in every way, every inch of the way. Swamiji said, I know now every inch, Swami Vivekananda's word. I fought with my master for 6 years. I know now every inch of the way. She, mother also, in her own independent way that she showed every inch of the way how the women have to work, how we have to show, how women have to behave, attitude, behavior, relation with others. That dignity, that culture, that sanctity you have to maintain. At the same time, that loving heart must be spread all over the. See, in one book, Ethics and the Modern Millennium, our Holiness Dalai Lama has written that the challenges of the modern world. See, challenges of the modern world, we have to give way to find, to recognize the challenges of modern world, he says, to recognize, acknowledge the international, to find out the ways how we can acknowledge the not international, inter-community relations. Inter-community relations wherein human diversity is acknowledged and we express our feelings, our inspired wish to help others. When somebody asked how this is on inter-community vapor, how on individual level, how can it be done? Then he said, we have to awaken our own, realize our own universal responsibility and realize our realize how to empathize with others. This is Dalai Lama's languages. That means we have to awaken into ourselves that mother's qualities, love, gentleness, generosity, affection, selflessness. These are the things which if it is awakened in the youth, then really the modern world will be, the challenges can be over in the modern world, the Dalai Lama's word. So the thing is, that is only the quaint essence of the mother's qualities. Mother's qualities are there. It's Holy Mother, 100 years ago itself, they chalked out the same words. She showed how to bring in all them into the fold of our own embrace. That is. So mothers now for the new millennium, this mother's quality has to be awakened, seen. That is actually the ideal of our age, women, or the womanhood. Woman is the ideal, is the express, awaken, and further that the motherhood of the God. That can be done for not only for the women, even for the men also show it, because that quality is innate in each and every one. Each soul is potentially divine. It is one and the same. Oneness of the whole soul. We know all this real because in the spiritual field it is once and again, it is told again and again. So it's, and it is the main quality. Mother came to awaken this quality to make the whole world our own. So, again, if I say Swami Bhuteshananda's word, he said Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature, and this thing became so popular, would have been, he said, Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature would have been an extended philosophy of Advaita Vedanta of Shankaracharya, lest Holy Mother had not practiced those Vedantic Satya, Vedantic truths in her own life and made it universal, dear to everyone, and made it her own. So the whole universe now understanding, accepting that Ramakrishna Vivekananda ideal as not only the universe, but he said one apun. Everyone our own. They feel that Ramakrishna Vivekananda ideal is our own. It's our known ideas, and it is becoming so popular because Holy mothers, that motherly attitudes, mother's instinct. That mother instinct came from Swamiji's word, meditation, purity, and self-dignity. So she knew how, she more than that, these are all things with a disciplined way this has to be determined. Freedom, always we know freedom means what it is. Freedom is to do whatever we like in whatever, without concerning with the place, time or the people. We do whatever we like to. But mother gave a new meaning to the freedom of it. It is to mean that to do the right thing with love and affection, giving respect to each other. The honor given to, the color she gave to the freedom is the respect, whole respect to others, everyone, respect with honor has to be done. So she gave honor to each and not only person, even the things also. See, each vessel in the kitchen was there. She gave the respect to each vessels in the kitchen. Everyone, her concern for even the lowliest. Swami Vivekananda, what the greatness of the little things. Swami Vivekananda said the greatness of the little things. Even the smallest things are the great things. She had a full faith, gave full respect to each, the smallest, infinitesimal, insignificant thing of the world was given full attention by Holy Mother. That is the testimony of the truths which are given in our scriptures. See, each soul is potentially divine. So oneness of all the soul. She expressed it, showed in her life, giving respect to each and everything. But even not only the person, but even the things also she was given the respect by her. So many things we can quote from our life activities, and that's why it's all I am telling somebody else's ideas, not my. Shubhavrataprana Mataji is the second president of Sarada. She has heard so many. She was telling all the time, I have heard so many things about Holy Mother from the disciples. She has seen so many disciples of Holy Mother, and her Guru himself the disciple of Holy Mother. So she was telling so many things I have heard, and then image of Holy Mother is taking shape, picture of her or taking shape on her mind and thinking of all the time. This is and it is such that as though we see in a film the person who is very much near to us, if you have seen in the film, any national leaders like Netaji Subhash was, we all like them, love him. If you see him on the film, as though we are seeing him and lively he is coming before us. Like whose mother, Shubhavrataprana Mataji was telling, all those incidents and everything have etched in our mind all the time. We are thinking it, analyzing, doing it, so that we get the guidance. We can see her life, which is so scholarly she was, so much spiritually advanced, but he cannot understand. So always she is staying at the background. When the Sarada Math was opened, she was a gatekeeper all the time. Nothing grumbling or nothing of that. Even in sadhana, for every active, all the time she will keep forward the Mukti Prana Mataji, she will at the background. But she will be giving all the ideas to do everything. She was more practical and more intelligent to deal with many of the official works and all, very, very in particular, very simple work. But always she was at the background. See, these are so nowadays she was telling, nowadays you cannot have the person who has seen the mother and all, but by these every details of the mother can become clearer and brighter to you by reading, by analyzing, and analyzing, thinking, writing and all those things. The picture of Holy Mother will become very clear to you, and then so that she can guide and inspire us in the journey of our life. So Holy Mother's instance has so much we have to think over it. If we consider as the Holy Mother is a divine person, she will be outside. Oh, yes, we pray her and she gives us something and she is the outer authority. We depend on her as the outside authority. And if she is an ordinary person, then also we are going and consider it as an ordinary lady is living like what is then. Many a times I have heard about Bengali word because many years I was. और जीवन की आचे ये सामान्य सब जाना आचे सब जाना आचे सब everything is known all the time, but you have to think, analyze, go deeply into it. Then the importance of it is known. Only one small instance, 1 minute. That's one story. A story, but it is lived. It is not a story life and how mother India. One Anis Jung. She was a very great writer, orator, and a great politician, maybe, I don't know. But she occasionally used to come over New Delhi, that because Atma Pranaj was a very influential person. Many of these influential persons used to come over there. So then Samvit, one our English magazine is coming over. So we asked her then she said, my life experience I am going to tell you, you write down it. And she was telling it. She said, I am Indian first, Muslim. Anis Jung, his name itself she is a Muslim lady. Maybe in Hyderabad, Nizam's family she may be related. She is living in Delhi then. So she was, I am Indian first, Muslim next. All the faith, they are all a framework which will make us to live decent, which help us to live decently. That framework must be workable and then and change according to the time and according to the time. That is what she was telling. And then she told, once I was flying from Delhi to Jaipur to visit some literary fest. In the plane she had one sannyasi sitting next to her seat. She was very old, had only one gerua cloth around his body and a small silk chadar on his upper body itself. First she hesitated whether should she sit next to him or not. Then anyhow seat is allotted, so she sat. But that Sant was so inquisitive, she started talking to him, talking to that Anish. Then he himself gave his introduction and everything, and I lost my parents very young, and then came across many of the sadhus, lived with them. They cultured me, they brought me up with physically as well as the mentally, spiritually and everything. So I am now like this only. I have read only Sanskrit, nothing else I know. I have written a book, so many things he said it to him. And then came to inquire her. What about you? What is your name? And all those things he asked. Then she was a little bit hesitating. He is being a sadhu, never came in contact with any other person, only a little bit of Sanskrit he knows. How will take it if I say that I am a Muslim? She was thinking, it's years back, not now, years back, and about at least 10 years back, incident. So she was hesitating, but that sadhu never, didn't stop, asked her turn. Then she said her name. Then itself he came to know that she is a Muslim, but he never hesitated, and again asked what. And then he himself started, it seems. You are a woman. So every woman is a mother. Woman is Dharti, Bhumi. Father is Akash. Woman is Agni. So rain is the father. Eyes black is mother. She was telling this, I remember all those. Eyes black is mother, but white is father. If the black is not there, vision won't be there. But white is not there, protection will not be there. So both are interconnected, complementary to each other. But still, mother gives the life. So mother is greater than God. So he was that thing struck such an impact on her mind and his job. She said, that revelation, a kind of revelation or a realization into her mind about my own self-worth, self-esteem, which I am carrying even today, all these years, even today, that which has helped me to face many a crisis, to remain unbent, that is one. Remain unbent to face every crisis and doubts and all. She said, we always remember, keep in our mind the picture of the thing which we love most. In my mind, I keep always this moment of realization about my worth. Always I carry it with me. That is my India. That's a nice thing. Namaskar.